what does success really mean to you? I mean, is it just about the number of zeros in your bank account, or maybe the title on your business card? Or could it be that maybe real financial success is actually tied, deeply linked to becoming a better person, more principled, more fulfilled?
That's a great question to kick things off.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into The Education of a Value Investor by Guy Spier. Now, hold on. If you're thinking this is just another sort of dry investing manual.
Yeah, another how-to guide.
Exactly. Let me stop you right there. This book is, well, it's a fascinating journey. It's about personal transformation, really. It pulls wisdom not just from the big names like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, but from Spier's own quite raw experiences.
Very personal.
Yeah. So our mission today, we want to pull out those core insights that can help you become, yes, a smarter investor, but maybe even more importantly, a happier, more well-rounded person. It might fundamentally shift how you approach things.
Yeah, you're right. The Spier's book is pretty unique in that sense.
Yeah.
It weaves together his personal story like a memoir with investing principles. And that makes the lessons incredibly, well, relatable and powerful, I think. You're not just getting theory, you're following his actual journey, the choices he made, sometimes stark choices.
Right.
And this whole approach really sets the stage for a more holistic view of success. It puts integrity, humility, constant self-improvement front and center.
Showing they aren't just nice to haves.
Exactly. Not just feel-good ideas. They're almost like blueprints for achieving something meaningful, way beyond just the stock market.
So, okay, how did this whole transformation start for Spier? Because he didn't exactly begin as this wise guru figure.
No, not at all. Far from it.
He started out young, ambitious, working on Wall Street, chasing what, let's be honest, society often tells us to chase. The prestige, the big money, that fast lane life.
The typical dream for some.
Yeah, and he ended up at a firm that was, frankly, pushing ethical boundaries, operating in some morally questionable ways.
It makes you pause, doesn't it?
It really does. You think about your own first job, those initial career choices. How much do those early environments really shape us?
We often think we can resist, that we're strong enough.
Right. But maybe the influence is more subtle, kind of insidious.
And that is precisely what Spier came to realize. It was a huge, maybe even painful turning point for him. Understanding just how much our environment shapes us, more than we like to admit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're surrounded constantly by people making, let's say, dubious calls, chasing short-term wins no matter the cost,
Yeah.
it's incredibly hard to keep your own compass straight.
The pressure builds.
It really does. It
Yeah.
subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, nudges you towards choices you wouldn't normally make. So his turning point wasn't just about quitting a job. It was about embracing a totally different philosophy.
Buffett and Munger's philosophy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is so deeply rooted in integrity, thinking long-term, respecting capital. That shift in his influences, choosing to reevaluate who and what was around him, that fundamentally changed his whole path, professionally and personally.
So it's not just a slight nudge. It's like a powerful force, almost like gravity, this idea, this power of environment. It really hammers home that your surroundings dictate your behavior way more than just sheer willpower can.
Absolutely. Willpower gets exhausted.
Think about it like swimming against a strong current, right? You just get tired, you get pulled off course. You might even start rationalizing things you wouldn't normally just to keep up. So as you're listening, maybe take a second to reflect on your own environment. What currents are you swimming in every day? Are they actually helping you get where you want to go? Or are they, subtly pulling you somewhere else?
That's such a critical point of reflection. And Spier didn't just think about this. He acted on it. Dramatically.
Yeah, the Zurich move.
Right. He didn't just shuffle desks on Wall Street. He left entirely, moved to Zurich. And this wasn't just changing scenery. It was a deliberate, strategic decision.
He was designing his environment.
Precisely. He was actively putting himself somewhere that would foster the things he knew were essential. Patience, honesty, rationality. For investing, yes, but also just for living a good life.
It really makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? What environment are you choosing? Are you actively cultivating it to support the person you want to be? Or are you just kind of letting it happen?
A tough but necessary question.
Okay, so he gets the environment piece. Then he has to figure out, well, who do I want to become and how do I learn from the best? Which brings us to these two big ideas, and they're really connected.
Humility and learning.
First, yeah, humility and lifelong learning. Spier really stresses how vital it is to admit your mistakes, openly, no ego, and just embrace this constant hunger to learn more.
It's hard for a lot of people.
It is. He says ego, overconfidence, thinking short term. They're the enemies, not just of investing, but of making good decisions anywhere. It sounds just like Buffett being a perpetual student.
Always knowing there's more to learn, letting go of what you think you know.
Exactly, a deep appreciation for how much you don't know.
And that humility flows perfectly into the second idea, the power of cloning.
Right. Which sounds a bit sci-fi maybe, but it's not.
No, not biological cloning. It's about strategy. Spier argues, look, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. Why struggle for years making the same mistakes others already figured out?
Makes sense.
Instead, strategically study and, importantly, emulate the best investors. Reverse engineer what they do.
And he really did this with Buffett and Munger.
Oh, actively. He cloned their habits, their strategies. Things like reading constantly, avoiding speculation, really digging into businesses to find great ones at fair prices, not just chasing hot tips.
It's practical stuff.
Very practical. But what's really compelling is he says this cloning isn't just for investing. You can adopt habits, mindsets, approaches from anyone you admire in any area of life.
So what stands out about that approach?
What stands out is that it's not about blind imitation, right? It's intelligent learning, strategic adaptation. You're consciously putting yourself on a path someone else has already proven works.
Smart emulation, not just hero worship. And speaking of heroes, or at least giants, we absolutely have to talk about the Buffett lunch.
Yes, the famous lunch.
This story is practically legendary in value investing circles. Spier, with his friend Monish Pabrai, bid, get this, over $650,000 for a charity lunch with Warren Buffett.
Wow, that's a pricey meal.
Over $500,000. And this is where it gets really interesting, because what Buffett shared wasn't some secret stock tip or market forecast. It was something deeper.
Something truly priceless, as Spier found out.
Yeah. What was it?
Well, Buffett's big message during that lunch wasn't about picking stocks. He looked at them and apparently said something that hit Spier hard. It's not about the money. It's about becoming the person who deserves it.
Wow. Okay. That's profound.
Monumental takeaway for Spier. It confirmed that real, lasting success, it's fundamentally about building character, cultivating the right habits, living with integrity. The money isn't the point. It's a consequence.
It flows from who you are.
Exactly. And this ethical personal foundation connects straight into the practical value investing principles Spier talks about in the book, the stuff he learned from Buffett and Munger.
Okay, let's break those down.
Right. First, buy businesses, not stocks. Really understand you're owning part of a real company, not just trading a ticker symbol.
Got it. What's next?
Second, focus relentlessly on long-term intrinsic value. Figure out what the business is truly worth based on its earnings power and assets, separate from the daily stock market noise.
Makes sense. Third,
cultivate patience. This is huge. Often, the best thing to do is nothing. Just wait, rushing in, reacting emotionally, usually a mistake. Patience is maybe the hardest part, but the most rewarding.
Okay, and the last one, critically important.
And critically, fourth, always protect against the permanent loss of capital. This isn't just about avoiding temporary market dips. It's about safeguarding your initial investment from vanishing forever. A loss you can't recover from kills your long-term results. Understanding risk is paramount.
Okay, so if we distill all that down, what are the big overarching core principles from Spier's whole journey?
Let's try.
Okay, first, environment shapes behavior massively, so choose it wisely, intentionally.
Second, clone wisely. Adopt the best habits from those you admire. Reverse engineer their success.
Third, integrity is non-negotiable. Wealth without ethics, empty, fleeting. He really felt that.
Absolutely. Fourth, be a perpetual learner. Humility drives growth. Always be learning.
Fifth, focus on intrinsic value. Buy businesses, understand their worth, ignore the noise.
All right. Sixth, temperament beats intelligence. Controlling your emotions is often more critical than raw IQ points.
And finally, the big one. True success equals money, plus character, plus contribution. It's an equation.
It's a powerful equation. And that leads us right into this idea of the importance of temperament.
Yeah, because like so many great investors, Spier really highlights emotional control. It's paramount.
It's easy to say it, of course.
Oh, totally. But doing it, when the market's going crazy, your portfolio's swinging, everyone's either freaking out or irrationally exuberant. That's tough.
We can all relate to that, right? Not just in investing, but any high-pressure situation. That challenge of keeping cool when the stakes are high.
Oh, absolutely. A make-or-break presentation, a tough negotiation, even a personal crisis. Making decisions in the heat of the moment, it can totally derail everything. We've all done it.
Precisely. And in value investing, temperament is so crucial because you often have to go against the crowd.
Stand alone sometimes.
Exactly. Stand firm when everyone else is piling in or running for the exits. You have to endure short-term discomfort, maybe even pain, for that long-term gain.
Requires real conviction.
Emotional fortitude, really.
Yeah.
Sticking to your principles when it's unpopular or just plain scary. It fights our natural herd instinct, our desire for immediate results. And what's fascinating here is how this isn't just an investing skill. It ties into a whole life philosophy. Cultivating that kind of temperament helps you make better, more rational, long-term choices everywhere. Leads to more peace, more stability overall.
And that broader view, that holistic approach, is really what makes this deep dive feel so relevant, I think. Spier really emphasizes this holistic view of wealth. It's way more than just dollars and cents.
Much more.
His journey taught him that true wealth includes things like meaningful relationships, rock-solid integrity, genuine peace of mind, and making a real positive contribution to the world.
Those things matter just as much, he argues. Maybe more.
Yeah. He specifically talks about generosity, about giving back, not seeing it as a cost, but as like an essential part of a truly rich life. So for you listening, beyond just your portfolio strategy, how might these deeper ideas about wealth resonate? How could they guide your choices day to day?
Well, what it ultimately means, I think, is that real wealth isn't just the number on your statement. It's about the person you become along the way, through your choices, your actions.
Well, the impact you have.
And the positive impact you have, exactly. It's about building a life that's rich in character, rich in contribution, and then financial success often becomes a natural result of living that way, with integrity, purpose, and that commitment to always be growing. It all fits together.
So let's wrap this up. The central takeaway from our deep dive today into the education of a value investor. It's really as much about deep personal growth, about mastering yourself, as it is about investing smart. Guy Spier's whole transformation just powerfully shows that lasting wealth, true wealth in the fullest sense, it flows naturally to people who actively build integrity, patience, wisdom right into their lives.
It's not about chasing money first.
No, it's about becoming the kind of person that money, and frankly, much more than money, naturally flows towards. It's a guide to being not just a smarter investor, but a better, happier, more impactful human being.
Couldn't agree more. Success is that personal journey of cultivating yourself. The financial returns, they're just one outcome. Significant, sure, but not the only one, of a life lived well. Driven by values, learning, and being thoughtful about the environment you choose.
Okay, so considering Guy Spier's journey and his big emphasis on strategically cloning good habits, I want to leave you with this final thought. What specific one habit, just one, from someone you really admire, could you start actively cloning starting today to help you become the person who deserves the success in all its forms that you're seeking?
A good challenge.
Think about it. How might that single habit start to reshape your own journey?